Hey guys, I'm Ben.
And I'm Tommy.
And we are once again, and still continue to be, talking board games.
Well, it's interesting you should say that because we've already changed our name once.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do it again.
We are now Board Games Talking to You. No, we're not.
We're not.
We're talking board games.
That was a good idea, though. I don't know. This maybe doesn't matter to you guys, but when I tried to search for us, it was impossible to find, and now...
Okay. I just wanted my name to sound like it was in the title, alright? You caught me.
Now when you search Talking Board Games, number 1 on the list.
We also have like
number 1
100 more subscribers than we had then.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no connection there.
Today we are bringing you a review of this wonderful game, Heaven and Ale. And that was Heaven and Ale.
Did you get the pun?
No.
Heaven and...
Ale.
Say it faster, but with...
Heaven and Ale. Heaven and Ale. Heaven and Ale. I don't get it. He said a naughty word. He said a bad language word.
Sorry.
Anyway. Heaven and Ale by Eggertspiel. Generally, really great games from Eggertspiel.
A lot of good Euros come out of
A
there.
lot of good Euros. Again, generally speaking. So, what do you think about this one? Quick rules summary.
There's really not a lot as far as rules go. There's a couple of intricacies, but essentially you have this track with these tiles around it.
Like a rondelle?
Like
No.
If you're familiar with Glenmore,
Tokaido,
this sort of, move as far as you want down
Drake.
this. Yeah. But you're moving and you're picking up these tiles, and you're placing these tiles, which either are monks or different ingredients to brew your beer, and you're placing them on your player board, which has two different sides, a sunny side and a shaded side. Depending on where you place it, it's going to cost more or less, and it's either going to score you money or like points for those ingredients.
Points.
When the time comes.
Yeah.
Resources. I don't know.
Yeah, you basically are scoring resources, adding, like you have more of that resource.
Which is all tracked on your player board. But all this happens in an effort to surround sheds, which are going to let you activate these, which are going to increase, the different goods or give you money. And there's also these different like end-game scoring tiles that you're trying to grab. But as the game progresses, you're just filling out your board, trying to keep a steady flow of money, as well as slowly creep up your different ingredients in your brewer, so at the end of the game you have a good ratio for your score.
Which is hard
much
to
more difficult
do.
than, it sounds.
There is about 4 too many resources that you're trying to move up here.
5 is what there are in the game, so yes.
This is a hard game. Man. This is a hard planning game, and to me this has I can feel the similarities between this and Great Western Trail, which... Did Michael Kiesling design Great Western Trail, or was that...
No, it was Alexander
Pfister?
Yeah.
Designer of that Egypt game?
Yeah, but no, not same designer.
Not same designer,
Alas.
but it feels similar, which I think is something, I don't know, like Eggertspiel, Rococo, this, like they have similar... They're all very tight.
Mombasa, yeah.
They're so tight. How do they find these games that are just like, I don't have enough money to do anything that I want to do?
To be fair, they are in Europe, and they have first claim at a lot of these Euro games.
Is that how it works?
I don't know. A lot of these get brought over after they already pick them up over there.
This is a tight game, and if you are not a fan of tight games, try this anyway.
That's not what
because it is so good. This game is so good.
It's super stressful, right? Because you only get money in certain ways, and the money you get is very little in comparison to what it costs to place the tiles. Especially if you want to place a tile,
it's almost
reap
like
a big benefit from it.
You're leveling out at best with the tiles that you play.
Oh, if you break even, you're like, yes, I paid 4 for that, and it reaped me 2 coins. Like, that's really good. But no, it's interesting, and like the timing and the player boards, there's no variation. They're all the same. There's like no asymmetry between them, no alternate side. But the way you place your tiles is so crucial. And especially where you start placing and when you start scoring, it's man,
It is so hard.
let me explain it this way. My first game I played with my wife, I scored 10 points. My wife scored 15.
You got destroyed. Wait, that doesn't sound that bad. What's like a typical score?
Next game, I did much better, and I know I could have done even better, but I scored 56 points.
Ooh.
It's interesting. The way the scoring works is it makes for a really interesting spread because you have a multiplier
Yes.
and whatnot. And so I think in our last game, what was the score? 17, 27?
I had 25.
25. 17, 25.
I think Alex had 29.
Derek had 20.
Derek had 17.
Yeah, and Alex had much more. Alex had like 30 or 40.
Okay. And then you had 50.
Yeah. So we were anywhere from the teens up to 55.
Huge spread for a game.
Yeah.
But I think that it was all of our three first time playing
Yeah.
this game.
No.
I would have.
To
I
go
would
back and
love
play
to
it a
play
second
this
time. Yeah,
again.
yeah. That's how I felt after I
I
played it.
almost wish we would have
First
played
time.
it again.
It's not too late.
How does 2 players work?
So 2 players, less players, you knock down the round. So in a 2-player game, instead of playing 6 rounds, it's 3 rounds. And in a 3-player
Really?
game, it's 4 rounds. But because there's less people moving around
Oh,
the track,
you can get more stuff.
you can get more stuff. And so you're filling out your board almost at the same point as you do in a 4-player game over 6 rounds. And the game plays a little quicker
Oh, sure.
because you have probably half
Less
the time.
people
yeah,
thinking.
Less time. But other than that, the last difference is you are placing extra purple discs the last round on a couple of the spaces because there's more opportunity to grab those purple discs.
You hold out a
along the
little
game.
longer.
Yeah.
So you can benefit from it more.
Exactly, because there's less time to grab those. But no, it scales really well. You're still
This game is so good.
because the puzzle essentially is your board.
It has a Castles of Burgundy feel to it,
I can see that.
where you're trying to fill this out with these hexes, but it's simplified so much. Like it's not, I'm gonna grab this so I can activate this to do that.
No.
It's
a resource type. and a
there's
number.
almost 3 choices each
Mhm.
turn. Am I gonna take this number or this number, this resource, or or do I want a monk? Like those are almost your 3 choices every single turn.
And some of those may not even be good choices based on where these tiles are located around the track.
Yeah, like you have your choices. In the beginning of the game, you start off with almost infinite choices, right? Because of where you can place everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that you can't do is go to the purple ones because you won't get
You won't
anything,
score
and you
anything,
can't get any endgame scoring tiles. So, as far as resources go, your choices are limitless because you can put them anywhere on your board. As the game progresses, your choices still are hard, and you still have so many choices because you're like, do I fill this one space with a 5 or a 2?
Yeah, which type
Or
of
do I
shed
put
do
a
I wanna
monk here?
get?
Yeah, oh my gosh, the sheds.
Yeah, well, even John Gets Games made a really good point, and I knew this from going into it, but the 17 to 20,
23.
23, no.
Yeah, it's 18 to 23, I think.
Whatever that middle shed is,
The one where you still move 1 forward.
you move one forward,
But you
but
get
you only
3.
activate, no, you only activate 2 resources. Because the shed that's greater than that is you move forward 1 and you activate 3.
Right.
And the shed
That's
less
the
than
17
that
to 23.
is you
There-
move
and then
3.
there or 18 to 23. There's a 12 to 18 or
It's
something.
a 12
like
to
that.
17. That's the worst one.
12 to 17.
Because you still only move your brewer 1 space, and you activate 1 less tile than had you gotten 18 to 23.
Yeah.
But that's
But-
the easiest range to get. That's
but
the average. So
You can also, it's interesting because you could choose to want to activate those 2. Like, because the way that you activate them, you have to pick the
Yes.
pattern. Like, if you pick the 18 to 23, you have to do 3, and they have to be every other. You can do either
either set, yeah.
either set, but you have to do that. Whereas with the 2, you can do a cross.
It's gotta be across. So if you place tiles in a certain way, you want to get that number to activate those tiles.
And that was almost what I focused on the whole time was I need to get this here, I want to get those over here. Oh, this game has so
it's
many
agonizing.
interesting choices.
And the money
and
is so
many different
tight.
strategies.
The whole game, you're like, how do I make money? And then all of a sudden, you make like this huge influx of money by
And then
activating
you
a certain
spend
good,
it in a turn.
and then it's gone, and you're like,
How?
that was it. That was my chance to make money, and I blew it. Now I can't afford to place these tiles, and I'm not getting any points. But then it's like somehow you eke out away, and you burn those cards that are like super good, like privilege cards.
I'm surprised there's not more about this out. Like I know that I've seen reviews out there, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody like, go check this out. You need to look into Heaven and Ale. Like the first time I heard about this, you were like, hey, I got this game. I think you're gonna like it. I was like, you're probably wrong. Actually, I
know
said
him- I
last
know him
time.
well enough.
Last time you said this, I got obsessed with a game.
Yes. And I don't think this is that bad.
No, but I really do like this game. I kind of want this in my collection.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything negative really about it. The only thing I've heard people maybe say is that there's really no
That's all with
variability in setup. You have the same end-game scoring tiles. You have the same 5 privilege cards to choose from. The boards are stagnant as far as
You know what though? This is prone to expansions like crazy. You can get different boards,
different boards, yep, layouts.
even where different resources are
Staggered differently.
staggered
or,
differently, or I don't know, maybe like special player powers where every time you take a 3,
more of those privilege cards.
Different
the same
privilege
5,
powers,
different
different-
in-game scoring tiles.
yeah.
But yeah,
This is prone to expansions, and
fingers crossed.
I hope so. Why wouldn't you? This game is so good. Support it. I mean, Great Western Trail hasn't had anything.
No,
Rococo, as
It
far
got
as I know, has
expansion.
promos.
it got one expansion, but it was like a single print run. It's been
Rococo?
it hasn't come back into print since. Hopefully, it's in the process, but
They get great games.
like Mombasa, that's a Eggertsville doesn't have an expansion.
And from what I hear, it's amazing. Still want to play.
Really want to play that one.
Still want to play that game.
But
If you have a copy, send it to us.
we'll review it. No, but it's this isn't a game you're going to teach to anyone, right? It's very
It's
punishing.
heady.
Very heady, very
Just
punishing
like
the first game.
ale.
This guy. But man, the tension that you feel throughout the game and the decisions that you're forced to make in such a simple decision space.
Is exponentially increased in the last round.
Yeah, no, the last round is brutal, man.
Oh, man.
When we were playing, one guy was sitting there trying to decide which of his privilege cards he was going to play, and he took like 5-10 minutes deciding. And I had my next like 2 moves kind of planned out, but I was just like, come on.
Don't
you
do
can't
this,
do
don't
it.
do
If
this,
he
don't do
moves
this,
there,
don't do
it
this.
ruins everything. Maybe I can do that, but then if he moves there, I'm done. Like, there's nothing else I can do. My score. And I'm just sitting there on like the edge of a cliff, just teetering, just waiting to be able to make my move. And it was like, bam, yes! But man, because it's such a race, and it's like, oh. Okay, real quick. If you're familiar with this type of time track stuff, normally the person in last goes.
Well, I think
Continually,
this is
right?
more so like Francis Drake, because Francis Drake doesn't have that go,
similar,
go,
right?
go. It's turn order based.
So you're welcome to go as far as you want, and you'll still get to go in turn order. But the stuff that you're skipping, that you're letting other people just scoop along and pick up, is ooh. But then if you're the guy who starts scooping and someone goes ahead of you and they pick up all the good stuff, and you're left picking up all the crappy stuff that was left, there's a lot of tension, man. There's a lot going on with this main board.
And it's like, oh man, do I want to pick up this tile or do I want to score something? Because if you don't score stuff throughout the game, you are SOL.
Yep.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Like that one turn where Alex took that thing, that was the end of my game. I was gonna score this one thing and get money and this and get a bunch of stuff later on, but oh man.
And if you really want to be able to do what you want to do,
I should have gone first.
you can go first.
I
If
should
you're
have
the
gone
first
first.
person
I had the
back,
opportunity.
which sometimes is a sacrifice to get back first.
I had the opportunity.
You can
and
choose
I
to go
didn't take
first,
it.
and that'll let you have
Didn't take
first
it.
pick. Yeah,
I should have.
brutal.
The choices are phenomenal. It might not have a lot of variable setup or anything. Like there might not be any like. I guess you could say there's not much replayability, but there's so many different strategies that you could go that it's replayable in that aspect.
And just the interaction between the way the tiles come out and how different people start picking them up will influence your decisions greatly.
Yeah, but I mean, just the strategies alone. Like you could go for a strategy on getting your brewer as far as you could, or getting all your resources as far as you
Or
could.
even just getting maybe 3 of the resources as far as you can and just leave the other ones hanging, and hopefully getting those 3 up far
Or
enough
go
is
for
enough to pull
barrels
those up.
and
or
get
yeah,
tons of
just
points.
Just try and hit all the objectives and keep your money and stuff just to the point where you can get those barrels.
This game is so good.
Yeah,
This game is so good.
I like it.
Look for it if you can.
Yeah, it was an Essen release, and I picked it up as soon as it hit retail, which was late last week. So it should be online in retailers now, especially by the time this review gets up. But yeah, it's out there. You can find it.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. Play the game. Because it's great. I love it.
I do too.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Go ahead and just put that in my bag.
Been a lockdown.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Bye.